This conference will now be recorded.
Hi everyone, good morning. Any doubts from previous sessions? So we are into ABAP programming basics, and in our last session we have discussed how do we work with different data types, and today we were going to see how do we work with table reference fields, table references, and we will see how do we use constants inside system, and we will see how do we work with messages, how many types of messages we have, how do we use these messages in our system. We will also look into it, and if time permits, we will discuss about data objects types. So table references, what is table references? We will see. Let me log in into system. Let's say we have a T code VA01 which is used to create the sales order, and business asking you to implement some validation on particular field, let's say order type. When order type users are trying to enter a wrong one, you have to throw a message saying that order type which you entered is invalid. This does not exist. You have to trigger a message whenever they are trying to enter a different order type which is not exist in the database. Now, to implement this logic, you need whatever user entered value in the screen to your program. And once you have, then you will verify whether this is wrong or right. Now, the thing is how from screen to program value will come, that we will discuss during our module pool programming. So here we will see, let's say we have value in our code. Then how do we capture that value? How do we validate that value? If you wanted to capture, first you should know the technical properties of this particular field. How do you get to know what are the technical properties of this field? If you click on F1 here, function key F1, you will get technical details. This is documentation where you can see technical information. When you click on this is the technical details of this particular field. These are the programs, main programs in this particular screen. This particular field is designed, and this is the table where data what user entered which will go and store, and this is the technical name of this order type. Whatever you see order type is a semantic name description, but technically in database table AUART is the field where order type information is going to store. And this is the data element. Data element nothing but when I click on F1, I'll be getting a documentation, right? That documentation which is coming from this data element. And this will give you the screen field total information. So from VBAK, AUART is the field. So you should know what is the technical name of this particular field, that is table reference or data element. So table reference means table field or data element. If you use, then you will get the order type related all technical properties in your code. So technical properties are nothing but in this VBAK table for this field AUART, what is the data type length specified. That information we will get it into here order type. So if you see here, I am can able to enter only 4 characters. More than 4, I am not able to enter. And also I can only provide characters. If I am trying to give any values, then these are improper values. So how this particular field is limited to enter only 4 characters, and that 2 characters because it was designed inside the table. A table is VBAK, field is AUAT. So this is the field. Inside this table, they have designed this field with the data type character and length is 4. So I can able to only enter 4 characters till character data type only. So data type means what type of data you are going to enter for this particular order type field. That is what the data type. So now in program, I wanted to capture whatever user entered and then do the validation. Then you have to use this table hyphen reference AURT, VBAK hyphen AURT. When you use VBAK hyphen AURT, this particular field, what are the properties it is holding, that information will be assigned to your program variable. Otherwise, you can also do directly reference of data element. In both the cases, we will get character 4 only. Let me go to our program. This is current system and date. So how do we work with table references and data element? Table reference and data elements. Now I wanted to store order type. LV order type. LV order type. So type followed by, now we need to provide data type for this particular variable or data object, and this data type length should match with the order type. Otherwise I cannot able to capture the order type values. Then I'll know the technical information of this order type, and then I'll using that reference AUART. So pretty print. Save. Now this data object is ready to hold values of what user entered in the screen. So once you have this value, then you can go and do anything in the code. You can do validation, you can pass some messages, everything. It is possible. Save, check, activate. So now user entered value here. I am able to capture in my program. So to capture what I have done here, I have used data type reference as table-field. So when I click in this AURT, it is taking us to table AURT VBAK. So now our data keyword, which is assigning memory to this data object, and a type keyword, which is referencing data type and length from this table-field. This is one way where we can reference and get the data type and length so that our data object is ready to hold. So more than 4 characters, it won't accept. Let's say if I am trying to enter like this order, save, check, activate, now execute. So you can see only 4 characters you are able to receive out of 5. Why? Because it is referencing the table field where it is having data type character length for. For example, I am passing like this 1, 2, 3. Save, check, activate. Now execute. So I'll be getting only 1, 2, 3. System point of view, when you are using number inside a character literal, this is literals. When you use number inside a literal, then this is called numeric literal. Last time I told you character literal, right? So this is numeric literal. Numeric literal is also a data object. And system point of view, this is not number, this is a characters only. So you are able to pass this information and print it output only till 4 characters. It is accepted. More than 4, if you are trying to print, it will ignore that value because of this data type and length. And is it good practice to give always table-references? No. But there are some scenarios where we need documentation or any input helps implemented. So in that cases, we need this table-field name. But you need only a table field related data type and length. In that case, it is suggested to use data element. So when it is recommended to use table-reference, inside the table for this particular field, what are the documentation is available, what is the field values, F4 help is available, which means more than only data type and length, then you can use VBAK-ART. If it is only data type and length, then it is suggested to use data element type followed by AUAT. So pretty, let me comment this. So we'll get the same result. So if you are not looking only data type and length, we were looking more than that, then go with the table-field. If you are only looking for data type and length, then utilize data element. That is what the intention. So this is how we will work with table reference and their data elements when we need inside our code. So if this is distribution channel, for example, you wanted to store distribution channel, again F1 technical settings, identify the table and identify the field and also data element VTH. Then when you refer that, you will be able to only enter only 2 characters because that is only created up to 2 characters. Let me see now. Constants. How do we work with constants? Comment, right click, comment. So how do we work with constants? So constants is a keyword which is used to create constants variable inside our system and which is used for further analysis. Let's say I wanted to create order type here, which is always having a value or, then I can use constant AUART. So when we use constants, we have to provide value. When you use the data keyword which creates data object. Here we are creating a data object and it is referencing data element properties, data type and length from this data element. And this is data object which is ready to hold data at runtime. But here, whatever we creating is a constant variable and constant variable or constant data object, whatever it is. So this value always constant. It is never going to change. But data objects which is created with the data keyword, those values can change. It depends on the value you pass. If I can pass 1, 2, 3, 4, later I can pass 1, 2, 5, 6. So depends on the value what I am passing, it is going to change. But constants value, it's not like that. When you declare itself, you have to provide the value. Otherwise, it will throw error. If I do save, check, then I'll get error. Value is not specified. So which means when you use constants, you have to specify the value with value keyword. Value OR. Ready print, save, check, activate. So now when I use this constant value, always I'll use LC, local constant. Meaning is local constant. So when I always try to execute this LC order type, I'll always get the same result, OR. This is the value which constant is holding. For example, I wanted to change this value from OR to some ZA. Will this accept it? No. System will not accept this. Save, check. See, the field LC order type cannot be modified because this is constant. You cannot change the constant value. Always constant value is fixed. At any point of time, when you call this constant, it will give you only this value. Other than this, it will not provide any other values. That is what constants. Wherever you need a fixed value, you can use this constants in your system. Now we will see messages. So message, a term itself saying that something we are going to convey to the user during program execution time. For example, I am printing numbers or I am doing some calculation, addition operation using different keywords. Data N1 type I and N2 type I, result type I, and result equal to N1 plus Enter. Write result. Pretty print. Save. Check. Activate. And execute. I'm getting any result here? No, because we are not passing any values to see the result. Then what is the use of executing this statement res and executing the statement write? There is no use, right? So you are executing code, but there is no use. You are not getting any proper value, which means you have to stop user whenever he was not providing values inside this data objects. Then how can we stop user, and how can we correct the user? So whatever you are doing is wrong. You have to pass some values and execute. How can we correct the user and how can we inform user is first thing validation. So validation means we can use if statement to validate, and based on this validation you can pass messages. For example, I wanted to check whether user passing any values to n1 or not. Then how can we check? If is a conditions check statement which is used on data objects. If n1 is not initial, if is ends with always end if statements end with end if statement. And what I am checking here, if my data object is not initial, which means it contains data, then go for additions operation. So let me check this. Save, check and activate. Now place the breakpoint here in the if condition, execute. Now you can see this is my data object n1 and it has value 0. Now what I am checking, if this data object is not initial, it contains value, then do the addition operation. So now, is it contain value? No, this is a default value 0. If you click F5 or F6, we were not going to logic part. Why? Because if condition, it is verifying whether n1 contains value or not. So as this particular logic does not have a value, then it is skipping this particular condition and going to the another line. So if is a condition check which is used on data objects to verify whether this data object contains value or not. Now let me go back again to the 14th line. In debugger we have so many options, and we can play anything with the debugger. So I wanted to jump back to 14th line again. So you can select this line, and here in the debugger you have an option go to statement. So when you use go to statement, again cursor will go to here. And also you have an option to change data at runtime. I wanted to change this. Let's say I'm passing some value now. I wanted to see what is the behavior if I pass some value. Okay, that's why I'm changing and passing. So once you change of this, and then you need to click on enter keyboard button. Remember. So if you wanted to change a value, first change and then change the value and then enter keyboard button. So it has to become like this grayed out mode. Then only your value is stored. And now run this logic again, F6. When I click on F6 or F5, now you can see a logic which goes inside of the code. Why? Because I'm checking a condition. This condition is satisfied. N1 is not initial means it contains value. Then it is doing the addition operation. What is the value of res? That is 6. And this is what we are going to print into the output. So now here I wanted to pass a message in a case where user is not entered any value for n1. Then how can we pass? First, it is checking whether n1 contain value or not. Then it is doing the addition operation. For example, value is not there. Then what it is doing, it is skipping entire logic and going to the right? So instead of that, I wanted to pass a message. Then you can use else statement. So else, which will trigger whenever condition fails. So if n1 is not initial, which is success, which means n1 contains value, then it will do the result operation. If n1 is blank, then this condition fails and it will go to the else part. So in the else part, we are passing a message. Messages are passed using message statement. Message, please enter value n1. Type followed by message type. What type of message you wanted to display? Pretty print. Save. Check. Activate. So messages are displayed using message statement and message followed by your message. Your message should be passed within the quotes, and after your message you have to specify to the system what type of messages you wanted to display. So we have different types. In that, information is one message type. So this is information message. Now we will see how this message will trigger now. Execute. You can see a message information which is coming because the logic, it is saying that n1 does not have a value and it is going to else part, and in the else part we have this message information and that message is triggered, and that message we are passing, please enter value n1, and type of message is information. So information messages are displayed in a pop-up screen with symbol I, information, like this. So always information messages will be displayed like this. If your customer is saying I need information message, then you have to use. And whenever you are displaying messages, these messages, how we will display, because we have different types of messages, right? So this purely depends on your functional or your end user, how and which way they wanted to see. They will tell you, I need error message, I need a warning message. That what they are informing to you, you need to use the relevant data message types. Now we will see another message type. So this is status message. Status. Pretty print, save, check, activate, and execute. Now you can see status messages are displayed here at the bottom. Please enter a value n1 with the green tick mark. So the behavior also important. Information messages will be displayed in a pop-up and status messages are displayed at the bottom with green tick mark. And error message. Now we will see how error messages will be displayed. So pretty print, save, check, activate, execute. You can see error messages are displayed at the bottom with the error symbol. This is where error messages are displayed. Enter. And this is abort messages. Type A. This is message type abort. So save, check, activate, execute. Abort messages are displayed in a pop-up with red color stop symbol saying that please enter value N1. And when you click on this OK or exit, it will throw out from the program. This is what the behavior of abort message. And the last one, termination message. Type X. So pretty print, save, check, activate. When you execute, this is what a termination message, short dump. The advantage of termination messages is these messages will be logged into a transaction. This is ST22. In ST22 transaction, this termination messages will be captured. So what is our termination message name? In the runtime errors, you can see message type X text. So if you go to today runtime errors, you can see here message type X text. This is what the error which is triggered, and this is registered here with clear explanation what happened, why this error occurred, and who is the user, what transaction he ran. So this is the user. He executed transaction SC38. That is what we have done, right? So you will get all the details and what is the program he was used to execute from SC38. And you have error analysis and information where it is terminated. So if you go here, see this lines, it is indicating this is the place where system which trigger this message, termination message. So message followed by this and type X. We were asking system to terminate and give this message. So this is what the place where we were asking to terminate and give this message. And detail information. So what happened, everything you will come to know from this here, and then you will correct and then work together. So this message types totally depends on the requirement and from the user and from your functional who requested you to design something. They will tell you what type of message you have to use and then display whenever requirement comes. Depends on their request, you will choose any one of the message types. And also this message types and message statement, is this the only way we will write and display messages? No, this is for your understanding, I told you. But actually, if you write like this message, this we can say it is a hard coded message. These hard coded messages are not encourageable. Why? Because we were logged into English language. My profile is created in this system as a English. So that's where I can see everywhere in English language, program, edit, these are all English. Because my logon language is English. That I can understand. And system is server is accessed by so many people and different countries I have business. Customer is having business. So this system can be used by Chinese people, this system can be used by German, and this same system used by uh, France, different countries people. When it is coming to them, the messages what you pass, if you are displaying in your language, then it is a problem. If China person logged into the system, he can see all these terminologies in Chinese. When a person with Chinese language, he was executing, and if you are passing these English messages, he cannot understand. So these messages has to be translated to Chinese. Then who will do this translation? When you write inside a program like this, translation is not possible. Always he will get a message like this only, because this is hard coded way. You have written messages inside a program within the single quotes. This is hard coded. Any logon language, irrespective, the same message will come if user executed this program. Now, to overcome that, SAP they have given message class. We have a transaction code SC91 execute, and here we can create a message class, and this message class you can utilize in your program. So let me create one Z. This is my message class. Click on create, enter some short text, test messages, and then click on save as local object. Now go to messages. Now you can see here I have message numbers till from 00 to 49s, triple nines. I can create a messages. Now recommended way to display messages is utilize the message class. Whatever you are printing here value a message, that you can capture and then store here. Save. Now your message is stored here, and wherever this message is required, you can call this message class and number, so that this message will print. Advantage of keeping message from program to message class is, in message class if you maintain, automatically this language conversions will be taken care by system. You no need to do any conversions. A language conversion is automatically, it is possible if you written inside message class. Chinese guy when he logged in, automatically this message class will take care about the conversions, and they can able to see in Chinese language. Now how can I use this message class in my program? So we have to use utilize like this message followed by message type, and then what is the message number, and then your message class G7SMNG, that you have to specify it within the brackets. That's all. Pretty print, save, check, activate. Now execute. See same message we will be getting, but this time how we were getting? We have used message class. So the syntax for the below is message followed by message type, and then message number and message class. This is the syntax. So message, it has to write as this, and message type which is inside angular bracket, which means what type of message you need, you can provide here. You can use information message, you can use status, error, that is your choice. And message number, this is also in between angular quotations, angular brackets. When it is angular bracket, you can utilize any number. So from 000 to 999, any number what you want from the message class you can utilize. and then followed by your message class within the brackets. So this is what our message class. So this is the way we will go and display our messages, and this is the suggestible approach, not the above one. And if you wanted to pass dynamic message means I don't know what I should pass a message right now. Okay, which means whenever program is executing, I don't know what message has to be passed. Depends on some conditions. I have to trigger a message. So here we have two variables and we were checking only one variable here, right? So let me add one another variable also checking using AND keyword. If n1 is not initial, n2 is not initial. So I'll be checking two variables whether both are contains value or not. If both contains value, then only go for result operation. Else trigger this message. So this message I should not pass enter n1. I have to pass please enter value n1 and n2 both because I am validating both conditions. But in the program, I have to trigger that message dynamically based upon the condition. Let me copy this. So n1 is not initial, then this message. Okay. And now we will write in another way. Else if n1 is not initial, else if n2 is not initial. Pretty print. So there are three conditions I am checking. This is the first condition. Both n1 and n2 are present. If not, else statement will trigger. This else is checking n1 is not initial, which means n1 contains value or not. If n1 does not have value, then this message will trigger. And for example, n1 has value, then n2 does not have a value. Then when n1 is blank, then this condition fail and it will go to the another else. And it check here if n1 is initial, then n1 is contain value is not initial means it contains value. No, here we have to check is initial, not initial. So when n1 is initial, which means it is blank, trigger a message. When n2 is blank, then trigger a message. But this time I cannot use this 000 message. Why? Because this 000 message, which always give me that please enter value n1. So if I enter value for n1 equal to 10, so save check activate execute. Still I am getting please enter value n1. Why? Because this time condition it is going to n2. Let me place breakpoint here. Execute. So we have a value n1. This is 10. Now my condition is checking n1 is contain N1 it has a value and N2 also has a value. But the statement is not correct because we have only value in N1. Then it will fail and it will go to the else if statement. Now else if what it is checking, N1 is initial. N1 is initial means it does not have any value. Is it true? No. It has value, that is 10. Is not initial means it contains value. Is initial means it is blank. That is what you need to remember. So N1 is initial, no, it has value. Then what happened? This else if will fail and then go to another else if. Now it is checking N2 is initial. Yes, N2 is initial. There is no value. Then this message will trigger. But this message inside what we have written, please enter value N1. Now depends on my condition, I have to pass message. Not like this. Please enter value N1. I have to pass message depends on the condition dynamically. Then how we can pass this message? There is a concept called uh, currently editing. Okay, runtime message allocation. So that is please enter value ampersand 1. So this ampersand which will get filled at runtime. So now save, go back. Now what is the message number 001? Now you can utilize this 001 both messages and then write with what is this N1. This is with N2. So pretty print, save, check, activate. Now execute. So okay, so this is taking value not N1 N2 with N1. Now you can see please enter value N2. So how this is getting printed? Let me place a breakpoint. Execute. So we have values N1, N2. So F6. First condition fails. Second condition also fail. Third condition, which is success because N2 is initial. Now we were calling this message I001 with N2. So our message is like this. Please enter value ampersand 1. Now we were calling this message I means information 001 from this message class. Now what will happen? This 001, please enter value 1, value which will come, and this ampersand 1 which filled with the dynamically the value what you are passing. Now in this way I can able to print please enter value N2, same message. So for example, I'm not passing value to N1, I'm passing value to N2. Now execute. So where I have value in N2. Now F6. So first condition N1 is initial. Yes, it is correct. Then it will go inside. And our message which will print with value with N1. Please enter value N1. So same message, only one message I am using, that is 001. But this message which is coming dynamically depends on my requirement. So instead of creating two messages, you can create a single message and dynamically you can call that message and pass the value. So for that you can utilize this runtime memory ampersand 1. So ampersand 1 which will fill at a runtime. For better understanding, I recommend you to go through this program, okay, and then place a breakpoint and execute, read line by line and see what is happening. So you'll get a full understanding. I'll be stopping with this today. Any doubts so far? Okay, if no questions, we will wind up for today. Have a nice day. Bye.